Hi, welcome. On this video, I'm going to be showing the basic scripting for the come command. Now, here with me to help demonstrate this is Ace. Ace is a lab, about a year and a half old, and he's here with me for a 2-week board and train. Now, some of his issues are related to expressing power towards strangers and not listening. So this is one of the scripts that is going to be more of a focal point with getting that going on. But to understand dogs as relational beings, what you're doing with investing in various interactions, it all plays a part. It all goes to the core of getting dogs to do what you want, or with pushing back on one's behavior. So this is merely one of the many scripting exercises that are performed when it comes to helping dogs and owners. So here what I'm going to show is just the basic scripting for the come command. So basically what you want to do is you're going to be using the leash. Now here I purposely have my door up here so that there's distraction here while I'm doing this. There's people walking by, there's vehicles going. So as dogs start to create a good level of relational change, your expectation levels need to increase. You need to start to apply more real-world type of situations without a distraction. So that's what's happening here at the same time. So that's kind of part of this exercise. So here, I'm going to do with Ace, I'm going to show you how the basic scripting works. So you're going to be using the leash to bring your dog into you. And just understand as you do it, as you apply the technique, it's not about being harsh or jerky motions. You want to use smooth and fluid leash technique. So, because basically what you're doing is you're communicating to the leash with your dog. And so the type of influence you're using is what I define as relational influence. It is a demand, but it's not a yell or a scream type of thing. You're engaging the dog relationally. It's how you're connecting. So as you're communicating, you're pulling the dog in. Now here, this basic scripting, I'm not relying on the spoken word of the command, the come command, isn't used the way it's typically used within many different trainers as a way to teach a dog or a dog to learn. Because you have to understand something. You're using command and you're already walking on sand, the dog already perceives you as being very weak. If you try to work off language or commands that way through the spoken word, the dog doesn't see you within the script of a leader. So therefore, you have to build on that. Something where the commands themselves, the verbal commands, are only part of who you are. It's defined through mind and body, so it's the whole person. So therefore, in order to have the strength of commands, it has to line up. Okay, this is why it's not just a piece of one thing. It's about the whole person. So therefore, when it does line up, it's because the person has the right personality type. They're already standing where they need to be in nature. So therefore, keeping that in mind, you're going to say the command one time. You're going to say come, but as you're pulling. Okay, you're already engaging, not waiting. Okay, and I'm going to say the dog's name too. So I say Ace. Now when I say the dog's name Ace and adding this onto the scripting, it's because I want to call him out of, say, a crowd, or say perhaps within a scenario it can be, say, across the street and there's traffic coming. Okay, I want to set it up so that I have his full attention, and then I'm going to say the come command so that perhaps I'm going to be in a situation where I don't want him to be in, but I want to be able to have that level of control so nothing bad happens. But if I just say come, and he hesitates, he doesn't hear it right quite, then he hears it, and then he goes, it could be a problem for him. So I want to set up so that he's going to respond within the same scripting to his name as well. So I'll say his name Ace, he'll look, then the command follows, whatever the command is. Okay, and then I'm going to attach that to the basic script itself. So there's going to be a couple things going on here to do this. I'm going to be talking through it so that you have a good idea how this kind of comes together, how this sets up. So the idea here is to create the distance, is to communication. So it's not just about saying stay. It is what it is, which means that because of how I'm thinking and how I'm stepping off, away from him, he's going to pick up the fact that he's supposed to stay in place. Now, the stepping off, this is why if I want him to move with me, I'm going to move with the leg that's beside him. I'm going to move my left leg, he's on my left side, I'll move out, and then he's going to key up on the fact of he's supposed to move also. But if I want him to stay, I'm going to move with the opposite leg, which creates this type of a relational, defining relation to this way. So he'll pick up on the fact of I'm moving over my opposite leg, therefore he's supposed to stay in place. But it's not just leg position, it's part of the packaging, again, relationally. So he'll sense, he'll know that he's supposed to stay in position as they start to really define the script well. So, but again, I'm still going to use that. So when you see me doing this, you see me stepping off with my leg accordingly, according to what I want him to do, and the command that is going to kind of hook on to that. So here, I'm going to start to do the basic script together. So first thing you want to do is when you want him to stay in place, is I'll use the push-pull method to help to communicate, okay, to bring him in through and with me more within the follower script. But it's also meant to assert a little bit more influence of communicating for him to stay in place, okay? Or use that technique too, the foundational technique for socialization to script that as well. But here, I'm going to line this up so you can see it through the camera angle here a little better. I'm going to move them around, and I'm going to put them in place, and then I'm going to start to go through the script. So here, I'm going to bring them over here. Kind of move them in motion here a little bit. Put them in place. Do the push-pull. Now they do the push-pull. I'm going to start stepping back away from him. Okay, he knows something's going on. So as I'm up back, I'm not going to go too far back just so you can kind of see it. Now here, there's a guy walking on the street, okay, which is great. But he's wanting to turn around. There's a jogger out here. So as he's starting to turn around and wanting to look at the jogger, okay, I'm going to assert some influence, communicate that I want his eyes, want him on me. Okay, so I interrupt that state. Okay. So here I'm stepping back just a little bit. Now as I'm back here, again, I'm not going to go back as far as I normally do because of the camera angle here, but basically you want to use the full length of the leash as you start to do this. But as you step back, one of the little tips for keeping him in place as you're going back is as I'm stepping back, you want to keep the leash angled up high so I can communicate and keep him in place. So I'm communicating as I step back, I want to tap a little bit, they start looking at me. But the angle of the leash, you want it to be straight up to keep them in place, because once I bring it down to an angle straight on, then that's a different type of communication for him to come to me. But as I'm stepping back to set this up so that he's going to stay in place until I'm ready to call him, we want to keep the leash up higher and just tap it accordingly if the mind starts to separate, starts turning. He turns it a little bit, see, tap, see what happens, it drew him in. So once he's there, I'm ready to say his name and call him in. So I'll say his name, Ace, come. So as I say that, right into me, push-pull right here. So here, you want his nose almost to be almost touching, but not touching, but just really close to you. Bigger dog, makes it a little more difficult because, it's going to be feel like they're away from you a little bit. But so long as it's defined this way, you want to line up this way, just with him being right in front like this. Now the setup for stepping back again is the push-pull, okay, right here, push-pull, create your moment first, and then recreate the same exercise with starting to create distance. So I'm going to turn around just so you can kind of see me repeat this. But if I'm doing this off camera, I'm just going to keep going and going and going, create a straight line out of the camera view. But here I'm going to turn around just so you can kind of see this. So now bring them around. I'm just going to turn them around here. Bring them around. Turn them around. Okay, and turn around. Again, I'm communicating. Okay, he already senses that I don't want him to move. Okay, and I'm going to start to create a little distance again. Again, keep the leash up high here because as needed, I'll need to communicate a little bit to keep his focus on me. So again, target's going by. See him looking. This is a great exercise because again, he's ready for that. I want the distraction. So again, he's right here. Communicate. Does that create enough distance? Okay. Here, I'm going to create, I might be out of camera view a little bit. I'm going to create a little more distance with the leash. Stepping back fully here. I'm stepping back, I'm stepping back, I'm stepping back, I'm stepping back. I'm stepping back all the way to the very end of the leash. And I'm going to call him in here. Ace, come. Pull, 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 pull. Right in. I'm going to put him into a sit, push, pull. And then same thing. So here, I'm going to, again, move them around this way just so I can get the camera view. Now here, there's one thing. You'll notice I'm using a pressure collar, okay, or what's called a choke chain. But I'm not using it cranking and yanking. It's more, when I'm using the pressure collar, I'm using it more so with bigger dogs to keep control. Okay, if they really pull back hard or something happens to them on my walk, which generally doesn't happen very often at all, it tightens enough so that they're not going to get away on me, okay, so that I can lock in and just bring them back in and create another moment. So how I'm using them as a different type of, it's a relational tool. So even when I'm using it here in this scenario, it's tightening, but because of the type of communication and because he's ready for this, I don't have to apply, I'm not applying a lot of, it's not tightening to that point where it's very uncomfortable on him. Okay, just applying some pressure, communication, and he's moving in on me. But at this level with him, it's not really the collar itself at all, it's personality. Okay, it's how this is all coming together, how the script is all coming together with everything else I'm doing with Ace to build on it. So right here, see, he's looking over there a little on tap. See what happened when I tap the leash? You know, tap, tap, tap. His head turned around. I'll tap again here a little bit. Tap, tap. You know, and then see what happened? Now he's back connected to me. Okay. So right here, it's important. This is the issue about relationally when dogs are holding some power. We need to consistently interrupt those states more often because then a look just isn't a look. He's rapid. He's seeking out the film. So with context. You know, if he was really a totally role changed dog, and he was in, you know, right relationship with me, I wouldn't be interrupting those states like that. Okay. In fact, that diminishes. As role change starts to take hold, those interruption levels are going way back. Okay. But again, key up on the fact of, you know, relationally, it's not a correction per se saying he's doing something wrong. Okay. That's the thing I really encourage people to look at what I'm doing. You know, I'm actually focused on moving the relationally from point A to point B. So I'm fading myself back in. It's a different type of scripting going on here. So I'd really caution you when you're looking at my videos or looking at what I do as opposed to other people with the type of influence, it's different. There's a difference between relational and corrective influence, okay? It really, and the real kind of thing to key up on, I'm ahead of the curve. It's more proactive, okay? So therefore it's not crank and yanking like that. It's more of a little hey you or interruption that's meant to bring them back to me, connect to me, so I can create these what I define as follow-up moments. So those are moments that build on each other, which will influence the overall decision-making process of Ace or the dog I'm working with. So anyway, just one more little scripting I'm going to add on here to do this. There's another part of this is the actual heel command. So as I'm doing this, so right here, again, do the push and pull. I'll do a push and pull here. Now he's wanting to turn around a little bit more here. Push and pull. The mailman is coming, and the mailman's truck is a little different, right? So he wants to check out the mailman. But again, when you get more of a heavier distraction going on, don't step away so fast. Just spend your time here, work on, you know, on connecting, on interrupting these states. Just focus more, and then step back. Now here, if I know the mailman's coming, which he is, I can hear him approaching my mailbox, you know, knowing this, and he starts to separate his mind a little bit more, I'm going to, you know, focus more. I'm going to take my time, because again, that is another little exercise in itself, how he's connecting to that, okay? Because dogs, he may have gotten a lot of fulfillment through certain, you know, people or situations, and so you need to really treat that as its own separate little exercise. So it's kind of like layered up here, so to speak. So as that happens, again, push-pull. Now I'm going to set this up and I'm going to show you a different little technique here. And this is for the heel command. So basically, I'm going to step back. Okay, so you can see this, tap the leash, see the angle of it. And I'm going to say his name again, I'm going to use the heel command this time. Ace, heel. I say heel, now I'm going to bring them all the way around, keep them in motion, keep them in motion, keep them in motion, until he gets to my left side, where I want him to be, and then put him into the sit there. Okay, so number 40, so I talk to the camera again. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm adding on another little piece of the script by using the heel command, but keeping him in continuous motion. If you watch what I'm doing, I'm actually switching hands with the leash. So just like a train on the tracks, I'm keeping him going around in a continuous motion. Okay, so we want to try to keep them going because then that's going to connect. It's going to connect that dot, those dots that way. There's a lot of stop and going. It's going to take a lot longer. But smooth fluid motion, it connects to how we think. Okay, so but the main focus when I'm working with Ace is the come command. Okay, just a basic scripting. I'm going to be doing that quite a bit with him while he's here on the board and train. And then with the leash at first, okay, so I use the full, say, 5-foot length of leash. And then as the script comes together really well through the short leash technique, then you're going to see me using a longer line, okay, the long line technique. So it's more distance, okay, 30 feet, and then bring them in. But again, how I do that, same as using the short leash. I treat it like the short leash, how I'm connecting, and then kind of moves out from there. But again, the most important part of this scripting is with how you're connecting to just using a short leash. And even at times I don't need a leash, my arm becomes a leash, my fingers are the hook. Okay, if I'm doing just moments randomly throughout the house. So anyway, just to want to give you a glimpse into the how the come command sets up through the leash, how to communicate it. This video kind of gives you a good kind of show that. The heel command, that's just like I said, an add-on script. I'll do that, say, 1 out of every 6 comes. You know, when he's coming in on the 6th time. As he's doing better, I'll add that one heel in and just keep bringing him around and then put him there, and then I can walk forward with him or whatever. And all this sets it up so the commands become powerful. Okay, that's where you're looking for the commands or the dog to listen to you. It's about scripting. It's about the whole package. Okay, it has to happen. You have to create that foundation relationally this way through bringing influence online. Okay, I have to be the one to create it. Because the whole idea of teaching and learning, they kind of get really kind of messed up or twisted and all this, and people try to rely on their commands without really thinking dogs are relational beings, okay? And there's a problem. That's why it'll all start falling apart. So you have to make sure it's packaged up the right way, okay? That's critical. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you have a great day.